Hi, everyone. Good morning. My name is Chen Zhen, and I lead the Data Analytics and Business Intelligence team at SRKK. So I'll be your moderator today. So first of all, I'd like to welcome you. So you should give yourself a pat on the back, for being here today because you made the right decision to join. And I'm sure that what you learned here will bear fruits if you apply it effectively to your respective businesses. So before I go through the agenda, I have a few housekeeping announcements here. So first of all, participant microphones and cameras will be disabled until the Q&A session. You may leave a Teams message if you have any questions, and we'll get back to you later on during the Q&A session. And if you'd like to voice out any questions, you may also leave it until the Q&A session at the end of the webinar, and you can turn your microphones to ask any questions that you have. The webinar session will be recorded for internal quality and training purposes. So the title of today's webinar is What If You Know? But what if you know what, right? What if you know insights about how your business or a department or a function is performing and why it's performing a certain way, whether it's good, bad, is it improving, is it declining? Or how would that knowledge affect the plans that you have, or maybe your goals? Or how would that affect your actions and priorities accordingly? So just a couple examples. Let's say if you're the head of sales, what if you know that your top sales rep is making twice as many calls as compared to the average salesperson? What would you do with that information? How would you do things differently? If you're the head of procurement, what if you know which vendors or suppliers, are not only giving you the best value, but also having the least delays? What would you do about that? How would you increase the amount of business you do with them and slowly move away from the other suppliers that are the opposite? Or if you're the general manager of a company, what if you know that the profitability of a certain product line has been decreasing consistently in the past 5 years? How would you respond to such an insight or statistic? So what we're talking about here today is business intelligence. So essentially it's to gain better and better intelligence about your business so that you can make better decisions, come up with better plans, do better goal setting and goal tracking. Because we all know that, whatever gets measured gets done. So most companies, in fact, are collecting all the data that is required to generate insights and answer the questions that are in the previous slideshow or the examples that I've shared earlier. But more often than not, the data collected is not used and turned into insights that leads you to take better actions, make better decisions, and come up with better plans. And that's what we aim to touch upon today with a couple examples from both SRKK and also the Malaysian Institute of Management, which is a customer of ours. So let me go into the agenda today that we'll be covering. So first of all, I'll just do a quick round of introductions of the speakers, and then we'll pass the time over to Mr. Yeoh, the Chief Operating Officer at SRKK. And the title of his presentation is going to be Data is the New Oil, How to Fuel Business Performance Using Data. Next, we'll look at a case study with Mr. Siva, who is also the Chief Executive Officer of the Malaysian Institute of Management. And we'll talk about how data is being used in their sales function. And then lastly, we'll pass the time over to Gilbert, a sales specialist at SRKK Data. And we'll have a look at a tool called Microsoft Power BI and how SRKK would be able to help you in your data journey. So a key highlight is after the 3 presentations, we'll have a quiz, and the top 5 contestants will win a wireless speaker. So you don't want to miss that. And then we'll end the webinar with a Q&A session. So feel free to drop your questions in the chat, or you can also wait until the Q&A session to unmute yourself and then interact with our speakers. Okay, so the key objectives and key takeaways that I'd like you to have coming away from this session is, number 1, why is your data valuable? Number 2, why should you start using your data? And number 3, how can you start using your data? So the presenters for this hour is going to be Mr. Yeoh Kai Hearn, the Chief Operating Officer of SRKK Group. So most of the business intelligence initiatives in SRKK has been spearheaded by Mr. Yeoh, and he's going to be sharing more about our journey and how you can apply some of the learnings into your own business. Number 2 is going to be Mr. Siva, the Chief Executive Officer of the Malaysian Institute of Management. And he's going to be sharing with us about why he decided to implement business intelligence at MIM and his experience working with this. And then last but not least, we have Gilbert, a sales specialist at SRKK, who is ever ready to assist you with your needs. So without further delay, I'm going to pass the time over to you, Mr. Yeoh. It's all yours. You can take over the control.
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Right. Okay, my name is Yeoh, and you might wonder how to spell my name, right? Of my Hearn is Hearn, right? My name is Yeoh Kai Hearn. I am the Group COO of SRKK Groups, right? And I'm also the Managing Director of SRKK Consulting Sandram Bahat. And I've been with SRKK more than 20 over years, right? And with my role as a management, right, I've been evolving into the SRKK day-to-day operations in business strategics, right, and how to drive the business. And with today's sessions, right, data is the new oil, and how to fuel business performance using data. So when this topic come to me, then it would be good if I share the data journey of SRKK throughout the 20 over years, right? And I believe, right, it could be someone in the similar industry or similar kind of the business segment, right? You might get some idea or clue on how you can leverage on the data. So it's my job to concentrate the 20 over years journey into 20 minutes. And I hope in this 20 minutes, you at least get some idea on how you can use the data to drive the business. Okay. I would split the data journey of SRKK into the 3 stage, right? Where in the early days, right? In fact, SRKK in the early day during the year 2005, we have been starting using the ERP, right? ERP in the layman term generally is a business applications that is it will help you to take care of your entire business from the sales, quotation, SO, invoice, DO, project delivery, all those kind of things. Okay, we have been an ERP early adopter in the year of 2005. Yeah. During the time as our business grow and we get more and more customer, we sell more and more products. Okay, and we start discover we need a better report. Right. No doubt, most of the business application has a built-in report tools, but somehow when your business grow, you will start to discover there is some limitations on the reporting. And same happened to SRKK as well. So we start look around for any reporting tools. And during the time, I would say the reporting tool is too costly for us, right? From the well-known cost few 100,000 to 1 million to a so-called SME friendly also costs us about 80 to 120,000. So with that, what we do, we back to the very primitive way, we use Excel, right? We use Excel. However, as our normal business, we don't really appreciate the data we have a lot right at the time. So we only analyze a very typical report, our sales versus our goal, blah, 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 all those kind of things, very standard. So things starting a little bit change when it comes to the step 2 in the year 2014. That's almost 10 years ago. And when I'm studying my master class, one of the module is statistics. I would say it is an alert call and the eye opener during this module where I learned how to do probability. And one of my assignment is to do the business forecasting by using the statistics calculations. So I decided to adapt this forecasting into the SRKK business. And I'm surprising to find actually there is some pattern that I can use to predict my business performance. And from that, I seriously think I should fully utilize the data. And that is where things a bit change when my CEO say, okay, starting from today, our business report got to be in PowerPoint, no more Excel. With that, we had to start thinking how to transform or change everything from the table, very text-based, into dashboards, right? With that, I would say it's a very minor decision, right, to have a PowerPoint, but it's a big impact to our business. And from that moment, we start thinking, how can I build a dashboard so I can present it into a PowerPoint? And of course, there is a book, right, a storytelling with data. Bought the books all the way from US, and because at the time you can't get it over here, and the book gives us a lot of good insight on how to structure your data, everything. So that is one of the key changes happened to SRKK. And in 2015 is also the year where the Microsoft Power BI launched. And what if we know, right? Unfortunately, we know, yes, Power BI launched at that time, but we don't really see how we can utilize the Power BI. And business still goes on. We are still using the Excel, right? And however, our Excel dashboard has been improved since the milestone year of the 2015, where we start do a lot of analysis on the data that we are having. Okay. However, the third milestone happens in the year 2019, where we decided instead of leverage on the Excels, right? We feel it's time for us to move on from Excel. No doubt, yes, Excel pivot table, you can do a lot of analysis, you can do a lot of things. However, we found it's very time consuming, especially during our monthly meeting, where I saw my team generally, they had to spend half a day to 1 day to 2 days just to prepare all the Excel dashboards. We feel, okay, maybe it's not very productive for us. That's where we decided to invest, and we get a headcount, a dedicated headcount in just to help us to build a BI dashboards. And we are migrating all the Excel dashboard we have into the Power BI. Okay. And I'm sure you heard about this. Data is the new oil. It's a quote from the Cliff Humby. Right? He's a British mathematician. And this quote, right, is been appeared so early in the year 2006. Right? And I heard about it. Yeah, I heard about it. But it just is always in my mind. Yes, it is the new oil. But it seems like I don't know how to do a better refinery of this new oil. So the oil will turn into a fuel that can drive the business performance I have. Until, right, when I reflect back on the journey that we went through, then we say, yes, actually, we already utilize the data. It just, we don't find a proper and standard ways, right? It was a very ad hoc on as when we needed. So then I decided to figure out and come out with some guideline, right? And that's where the sharing today, right? Yeah, because of 20 minutes, I can't really go into the very in-depth, but generally what I can share with you is what we have done through the 3 milestones, right? We have went through 2 times of the major, our database structure, restructure. It happened to our product codes, right? Our product codes. In the early day, we just when we want to design the product code, we thought, hey, this is the format. But when the business grow, for example, when we want to find out which are the best selling products, we can, but it really took us a lot of time. And when our business turned into the cloud era, where our cloud revenue start getting more and more, we start have a difficulty because my product could never design into such a way. So I can do it if I want to do the analysis. However, it really spend a lot of times. That is where we decided to restructure the entire product code, right? We changed from our stock code from, I remember, for around 3,000 stock code, right? And we summarize and cut it, grouping it, and now we only had less than 600 product codes. That's one thing. And I remember there's a year when in the early days, business was quite challenging. Okay, so we have a brainstorm in our business during our business meeting, and what can we do? So we start look around in the market, what is happening, and we found out the construction industry is having a good time. If you recall, right, I think around 10 years ago, construction was having a good time. And with that, we start extract the customer database we have, right? At that time, we start filter one by one, and we only discover the number of the construction customer I have is only finger count. Then we say, why not? Let's focus on the construction customers, right? To bring back the business back to our business goal, right? And by the end of the year, right, we managed to overcome the business challenge we have. So, and we review back the number of construction customer we have. We have about 200% growth. Okay, 200% growth. And that is one of the key factor, right, that help SRKK overcome. From that moment, we also discover why we never do a profiling on our customers. Right. That is where we start adding some additional data profiling on our customer. We start group my customer by the segment. So if we rank by the segment. So from there, we have a customer into 3 segments, large enterprise, corporates, SMB. Then we also profile our customer by industry, right? So we went to the government website, get the ISO certificate, now the ISO category from the government of the industry, and we do it a little bit different, and we come out with a 16 industry profiling of our customers. So from that moment, I'm able to use the dashboard to tell me which product is my best selling, which product is the least selling, right? And which are the top industry contribution to my customer, which are the top segment. And I'm able to know on average how each segment produce the revenue to me. And of course, right, we have went through a few rounds of the touch-ups to make sure the data accuracy. In data, accuracy is very important, right? In the dashboard, there's one thing, you must make sure your data is accurate. So you won't make a wrong decision based on the wrong data you are having. And of course, I always believe in 3 brothers when I'm doing the data analysis. Who are these 3 brothers? Dollar and cents, percentage, and the quantity. Right. So I always combine these 3, right? It's a multi-dimension analysis. I look from the top dollar and cent. I look from the side in terms of percentage. I look at the other side. How about the quantity? All those, right? Which I will show in another dashboard. And of course, with all this data, it only tell you your performance at the time. So we start learn how to benchmark all the data we have to the past history, right? We always compare to the past 3 years. From that, it will tell me whether my business is doing well in the good shape, right? Am I growing or am I not? And which product is declining? Which product is shooting up like a rock star? So that really gives us a lot of insight on the products. And with that, actually, we also trim out 50% of the product out from the SRKK and for those not performing. And of course, very standard, I believe a lot of business also doing, we benchmark the present, what is the actual versus the goal. Of course, we always go one extra steps is by looking at the market data. Then we start benchmark with the market data, right? Am I doing well compared to the market data or am I not? And of course, the good thing is because we are a Microsoft partner, right? And certain time Microsoft will share with us what's happening in the market, how's other. partners performing, what are the percentage benchmarking they are having. So we always use that to compare to where we are. It really gives us a very good info on how are we doing. And with the statistic we are learning, we also embedded the data we have with the forecast. Right, by embedded a bit of forecast. Okay, what is the best case? What is the likely case? What is the worst case? And when we look at the trending, the dashboard trending, it will give you an idea, right, of what is happening now and versus the forecasting I'm focusing on. So with that, I'm able to make a business decision better based on the fact base, and I'm able to react faster to what is happening, right? So you all can see, right? I'm going to share a sample dashboard from a simple data. A simple data here, right? And is quite aligned to the data as a new oil. A lot of people at the time of business, especially not a business, will say, hey, I only have a very standard data. Right, and what can I do with it? So over here, this is the sample dashboard with a very simple data. The simple data I have here is very simple. It is a business performance where we use to track the ARR business. ARR is the annual recurring revenue. In layman terms, it's like the revenue that is renewable every year, year over year. Okay. So from this simple dashboard here, right, I only extract my customer. By the way, this is a semi-dummy. Means the number here is the dummy. However, the customer, the product code is the real. So I do a little bit of light ups, right, just for some confidential. So I only have, I only, in this simple data, I have my customer, my product codes, the revenues, right? The cost, COGS, the GP, the percentage. So if you look at here, right, all the element of the three brother is here. Where I have a dollar and cent, I have the percentage, I have the quantity. So from this simple dashboard, what can I get? What if I tell you I can easily get more than 30 over information from this dashboard? Yeah, from the very basics, I can see all ups of the business, right? Where is the revenue I'm in now? What are the COGS, cost of goods sold, the GP, and in terms of percentage. From here, I further break it down from all up into a perpetual. Perpetual means a one-off transactions. Another one is the ARR. Okay, and from this ARR here, I'm further break it down from the renewal. How much is the renews from my previous or from my existing customer? How much is the net new? Because if you are in a renewal business, to maintain and to keep your existing renewal customer is important. At the same time, it is important for you to find a new customer as well. Right. And from here, I can able to tell, okay, in terms of the GP percentage contribution, how much I'm getting from the perpetual, how much I'm getting from the renewable. So I further break down from the renewable, how many percent is the existing and how many percent is the net new. It depends on your industry, right? For my industry, if I look at here, yeah, I got about close to 60%, 70 from the existing and 30 to 40 from the net new. That is considered quite healthy. Okay. And of course, we had a track line of my GP versus my revenue and the percentage. From the line here, I can know, yeah, my business actually is moving up month over month. Okay. And of course, I'm able to see who are my top customer, what is my top selling product. And the most interesting part over here is I'm able to see the customer by segment. So I know I got actively 952 customer, and on average, how much they contribute to me, and by in terms of the product, what are the product I have and how much they generate the GP for me. The good thing about this is I can click to do the filter on any particular customer segment. From that, right, I'll be able to know, oh, my SMB customer contribute how much, my SMC customer contributed how much. And of course, we have more and more dashboard, right, to drill in. This is only the information. From that, I also start look at the pattern. I remember there's a year before I end my session. There is a year when I studying all the trend of the customer segment here. When I compare to the past 3-year result, I start notice it seems my corporate customer contribution are getting more and more year over year. And I wonder why it is happening. Then I start do a lot of drill-in analysis and we found out, yeah, that is the year where the cloud was quite popular. And you know, when in the early days, right, cloud adopter is mainly a corporate customer, not very much on SMB. So with that, immediately we make a business decision, say, yeah, I should focus on the clouds and selling more to the corporate customer. And guess what? My business has increased 2 times, 3 times for that particular 2-3 years. Right. So we really benefited a lot from the data analysis. Right. So I just do a very quick wrap-ups. What we gain from the data refinery. You will always make a decision based on the fact base, so less mistakes, and business at your fingertip with the dashboards, right? You can know your business performance, you can uncover any mistake instantly, right? And you reduce the time spent on the reporting. Right? Last time I used to spend 1 day or 1.5 days in preparing all that. And the most important thing is by doing the analysis I shared a bit just now, you might be able to discover some patterns. And this pattern is very important for your business decisions. That is my sharing today. Thank you. Back to you, Chen Chen.
All right. Thank you, Kai Hearn, for that very insightful sharing. So if there's any questions for Kai Hearn, feel free to leave them in the chat, or later on during the Q&A session, feel free to voice out too. So next we'll have a look at a case study with the Malaysian Institute of Management. But before we do that, before I invite Mr. Siva up to answer some questions, I'd like to give you a bit of a context about what they have implemented so far. So this is essentially what they have implemented. So they have data from Pipedrive CRM, and they want to present it to be able to have that insights on a dashboard. So essentially what SRKK has helped them do is to automate the data extraction from Pipedrive using a very simple tool called Skivia, which only costs $15 per user per month. And then we dump the data inside SharePoint. And then from there, we use Microsoft Power BI to put it into dashboards where they can have that visibility into how the whole sales team is performing. So this is essentially just a high-level overview of what they have implemented, just to give you some context. Hi, Mr. Siva. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, good morning, Shinsen. It's a pleasure to be joining this session.
Awesome. How are you doing?
Good morning to all the audiences. You have the virtual audience.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so the first question I'd like to ask you is, why did you start looking for a solution like Power BI? Yeah.
Okay, I think Kahin spoke about the 3 brothers. So, I was looking for 3 sisters. And I think first thing is, the common sister is, of course, revenue is very important. Bottom line, we want to see how we are performing. I think that is very important. And second thing is that we are looking at opportunity. Data is everywhere. And how do we see that opportunity? And that data and that opportunity can only be seen sometimes through visual presentation, right? And I think we are looking at something which could help us as this management team to see where are the opportunities for improvement, because we just like any other organizations, we are always continuously improving and we are looking for opportunity to improve. And likewise, when we look into our existing CRM, we're also looking at where are the areas that we want to improve. And CRM generally, in the past we were not with Pipedrive. We had another CRM platform we had, and very much earlier, we were pretty much using the Excel spreadsheets, right? Then we moved on to another CRM. Then we looked at Pipedrive. Okay, then we got that in. But the most important thing here is that salespeople generally they they're good, right? But when it comes to CRM, they tend to not many of them really like CRM. If you ask traditionally, if you ask most of the salespeople, they may not love the CRM because it's a lot of things that they need to input. They want to go out there, get the sales, and get it done. But CRM is something that we need. We need to get the data, everything. So when we implemented this CRM, Pipedrive, we are looking beyond just the CRM. We want to see how to bring out, that data as a visual representation, a visual presentation. So the main thing here is that we want to celebrate success. So the three sisters I'm looking at here is that we want to see the revenue, we want to look at the opportunity, we want to celebrate success. When I say celebrate success, is we want to make sure that our salespeople are successful, right? And it's always about people, the process, and the tools. So as we are looking at it, and fortunately, anyway, we came across this. So once we had successfully implemented a CRM that was used by the sales team, it became very evident that we need a quick way to review the sales data by using different levers and levels to achieve the objectives. One was to make the sales performance visible. The second thing is to monitor and celebrate the achievements like what I mentioned to you, and also to address the challenges and the red flags sometimes, in a timely manner. And finally is to provide a timely response and accurate support. I talked about the levers and the levels, right? So when I mean different levers here means the dashboard view for management, so that if needed, we can sometimes drill down into the details, so that we have a better understanding of any issues. And the levers could be in terms of the salesperson, it could be in terms of products, it could be in terms of activities, sales pipeline stages, and trends over the year.
Right. Okay. So it sounds like, you had a CRM in place, but some of these things were still lacking, right? So there was a problem that you had, even though you have that data stored somewhere and it's people are keying in data, you didn't have that high level overview and with the ability to drill down into specific factors if you want to. Right? Okay. So how painful was the problem, of not having that visibility or that oversight into how your whole sales team is performing from all the way into your sales activities, into your pipeline, and also performance at the end?
Yeah. Sales is the heart of any organization, especially when you're in the service line. And so when the COVID pandemic kicked in, we needed to pivot on a strategy, right? And we have to move our products also very swiftly. Traditionally, we were looking at purely face-to-face delivery of programs. But on a positive note, I think the COVID helped us to accelerate digitalization. So I'm very grateful for my team. We spent almost like working 24/7. We moved entirely, all our programs during the peak of the COVID. We moved all our programs together with our facilitators, right? We moved all the programs from face-to-face delivery to online, and I must thank also, because we have no choice. We have to move with the ever-changing challenges and the requirements, consumer behaviors, and the experience. So that was the real need, and it was a little painful. Of course, the whole digitalization plan was there, but the COVID helped us to accelerate. So we needed to really look at something that could take us out there. So that was the challenge was brought in, of course, with the COVID, and then as we moved into digitalization, we also wanted to see how best that we could give our sales staffs, that experience, because we have the people, we have the process, we have to make sure the tools are supporting them to become successful.
I see. Okay. So in terms of the collaboration with SRKK, how was that like in terms of your experience and also some of the expertise that we brought?
My personal take on this is that when we work with vendors or when we work in this case SRKK, it's not purely a business transaction, but it is more of a partnership, because both parties tend to learn. We learn from our partners, as well as I also believe the partner brings in their own wealth of experience. But we as customers, sometimes we can prod and we can say that, hey, this is something that we need, all right? And then probably you may think that that would not be able to do it, but then if we push the boundaries, we will be able to find solutions. So in this case, it was not just purely a business transaction with SRKK. What I want to say, I'm happy that it was a partnership. We worked together like an extended team, and this is very critical, especially when you need a strong commitment to resolve the challenges while exploring and elevating our current levels. I want to say that you have some great team with you, very committed. I can say that there were times that we had some bugs, we wanted it to be solved, and when we call your team, this gentleman was traveling from KL to Ipoh, and he just pulled over the car and he says, "Okay, let me fix this." I think that is very important. You need to have a team that is agile, and also very competent in both technical and business practice. So it was evident that the team did not really not only focus on the technical solution, but the working relationship was one that was on a sustainable pace.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for that. We're happy to hear that. So the last question is, what are some of the results and benefits after you have implemented Power BI and after having that visibility?
I want to say that we are still in the infancy stage with the implementation, but what is apparent is that we have reduced the reporting time by the sales and also from the various heads. Right. Last time we still have to pull in from the CRM, and then we have to, when we come for the business meeting, the sales heads would have to still present it in PowerPoints and then pull out those kind of things. But today we don't need that. All right. I think there's a huge time that has been saved. Probably I would say that it maybe take 2 hours to create, look at the data and all those things. But today with the Power BI, the data is so visible, right? And the reporting frequency is now we can
daily.
It's reduced, and most importantly is the wastages in reconciliation activities. Because when you have data, sometimes you want to really double check, because we've got different source of data in the organization. Sometimes in our case, it comes from finance, it comes from the sales, and they say, this is the figure, then I want to verify it with the finance department, because there is a period of collections and reconciliation, right? And the flexibility, looking at it in various ways. So with that, we look at only one dashboard, and we look at it and say, hey, this is what we want to see. So in that sense, even though it is in the infancy stage, but I must say that we are pretty happy, because we are starting to look at the dashboards now.
All right. So maybe one last question here. What are some of the insights that you normally get from your dashboard, and what are some of the actions that you would want to take based on those insights? Or what? Yeah.
When it comes to CRM, I did mention to you, how people look at CRM and all those things, but we are using this to inspire our sales team, because the dashboard is actually can play a role as a leaderboard. You want to see who are the top salespersons, so you want to incentivize, you want to motivate them, All right. So that is one of the good things about the dashboard. You can show who's the top salesperson, for example. All right, and who needs help. All right, and how do we celebrate as a team? How do we celebrate success as a team? And the other thing, I think, Kahian has already mentioned that you can go down, you can drill down into the data, you can look at historical data, you can look into your customers, who are your top customers. I can look in terms of my product portfolios, which are the ones that are doing well. Sometimes we think we want to push these products, all right, the products that we want, and we want to see how these products are performing in terms in comparison to the rest. So there are a lot of feedbacks that you can get. So it is the dashboards, which of course is customizable from what we want. So we can look at what we want to see on the dashboard. So these are some of the things that we can see, in terms of individuals' performance, and of course, you can see the total revenue. We can also see the sales pipeline, the deals that have been won and those that has been lost. All those things can be visible.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Siva. Happy to have been working with you and looking forward to further collaborations and partnerships.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you for staying with us. And let's look at a long-term sustainable solution.
Sounds good.
Continue to improve.
Yep,
Thank you,
that's right. Thank you. All right, so we thank you, Mr. Siva, for that sharing. So in the next session, I'm going to pass the time over to Gilbert, who is our sales specialist here. And what he's going to be doing, he's going to be sharing more about Power BI itself. And also, he's going to do a demo of a replica of the dashboard that we have implemented for MIM. So the data is not real. It's just a replica, but the design is there. Yeah, so over to you, Gilbert.
All right, thank you very much, Jensen. Good morning, everyone. Good day. I'm Gilbert, and I'm a sales specialist here in SRKK Data. And today we have heard from Mr. Yeoh and Mr. Siva on how they can leverage their data and revolutionize their business by using this data. And today it is my privilege to explain to you how you can turn your data into actionable insights using Microsoft Power BI and how SRKK can assist you with that. All right, so what is Microsoft Power BI? So Microsoft Power BI is a cloud-based business intelligence tool that enables you to experience your data anywhere and anytime. It allows you to gain visibility on your business performances and enables you to dig deeper to explore even more insights. And being a product of Microsoft, Power BI is also integrated with other Microsoft products. So let's say you want to collaborate with your team members, collaboration can be made easier. All right, so how does it work? First, we can connect your data from your various data management tools. So let's say you have Salesforce, your CRM, or your ERP in whichever format. Let's say Excel or CSV file or SQL, and then we load it into our Power BI desktop. Here, we process your data from creating the automated extraction all the way to visualization. Then we publish it to the Power BI service on the cloud so you can access it through your devices, such as your phone, your laptop, your tablet, and you can interact with your data anywhere at any time. So why Power BI? I will highlight 4 key features that can help you gain more insights. So the first one, with over 100 data sources, you can connect your siloed data and consolidate it into a single interactive dashboard. Second, with auto refresh, you can cut down time on extracting your data and get real-time dashboard instead. Third, we use natural language processing, so you can find insights simplified with natural language processing. It can answer your questions just like using Siri on your phone, but this one is for your data. Lastly, you can find the right suitable metrics with over 300 visualization types to suit your business needs. So what are the 4 benefits of using Power BI? First one, it is automated and up to date. So you can spend more time understanding your metrics instead of extracting, transforming, and loading your data. Second is a single insights hub. Instead of carrying multiple files at once, you can access everything in one interactive dashboard. Third, it's an interactive reports. So you can drill through, you can slice, you can filter and highlight to find more insights. Lastly, as what mentioned earlier, you can analyze historical data. I think this feature really helps with businesses, as what is mentioned by Mr. Kai Hearn and Mr. Siva as well, that analyzing the patterns from previous years can help improve your businesses. In terms of security, Power BI adheres to a lot of international and regional compliance certifications and attestations. So rest assured, your data is kept secure. With all these features and the security, it's no wonder that Power BI is the #1 business intelligence and analytics tools in the market according to Gartner Magic Quadrant, and it's been there for quite some time. All this is accessible and used to cost tens of thousands of dollars. Before this, you have to even set up the hardware on for your on-prem solutions, and it will cost even more. But everything is changed when Power BI came into the picture, because you can access everything starting from $10 per user per month. You can access your interactive dashboard at your fingertips. All right, so I have talked about the overview about Microsoft Power BI. Now let's jump into the actual dashboard. I will actually show you the dashboard that is used by MIM, although we have changed the data to ensure the confidentiality. Just share my screen. All right, so over here, this is the Power BI app on the desktop, on the web browser. So the first thing that you can see here is the home page. On the top right corner, you can see that my profile is already logged in. This is the simplicity of Microsoft 365, considering that Power BI is a part of the Microsoft ecosystem. Once you logged in to your Microsoft Office, your Power BI is automatically logged in as well. And then over here, you can see different projects that you have worked on, or even projects that your teammates shared to you. And on the left-hand side, you can see different panels, such as your favorite, your recent. You can create a simple dashboard. You can check out some of your data sets and create simple scoreboards as well and connect it to different applications. More than that, you can also check out files that have been shared to you. Other than that, over here, we can see that the workspace function. As you can see here, there are a lot of workspaces, and these workspaces are actually the channels inside of my Microsoft Teams. So being a part of Microsoft 365, it's easily integrated and collaboration can be made easier. So let's jump into the dashboard that's created for MIM. As I mentioned earlier, that this data has been adjusted. So we have replaced the actual data with dummy data just to ensure the confidentiality. But basically, since the beginning, as what my colleague Jensen mentioned earlier, we have helped MIM to connect the data. So from the pipe drive, we set the automation and create an automated CRM so that the data is constantly pumped up into the server. So you no longer need to do manual extraction. So first thing first, what I will do is I will run through the first a few pages of the MIM dashboard, just to get a bit of overview of each page. So first, we have the sales cockpit. This is the overview of the whole sales performances. We will be able to see the targets, the numbers, the key metrics. All the important metrics are here. And then the next is sales activities. In this case, you'll be able to see the activities that is carried by the salespeople. You can see the number of calls, emails, and meetings. Activities that is related to sales will be captured here, and then you'll be able to even track it in the list form. Lastly, is their sales pipeline dashboard. So in this case, you'll be able to keep track of the pipeline and see the journey of the data, and this enables you to further forecast of what might happen in the future. Let me return to the sales cockpit and do a bit more of data analysis. So let's say, as what Mr. Siva mentioned earlier, that the point is they want to view who is the top salesperson, top performers, want to celebrate them and have visibility of the achievements. So let's do that right now. Over here, you can see in the salesperson, at the top, you can see that John is leading by generating $1.6 million to the company. Over here, you can see as well the top products and the top customers. But I'm curious, I would like to see how does this interact. So let's say I click John's name. From here, all the metrics that is shown on your screen will be changed to John's metrics. So in this case, the top sales target is John's sales target, and then the amount that he's achieved is based on his own performance. And also the interaction that he has with the products and the customers is all based on his achievements. And let's say I would like to dig deeper. Over here, I can see that the top customer from John is Apple. I would like to see the interaction between the two, so I will hold on to the control button and then click Apple as well. And then from here, you will see the different products that they bought over the past 1 year. From here as well, you'll be able to see what types of products are the most selling. So you can make decisions based on that. If you want to return to the original homepage, all you can do is just to click back and the data will be reset. As mentioned by Mr. Siva just now as well, you would like to compare and see who needs help in the sales team. So let's say John is the top performance one, but William is the least performing. So we can click William's stats and we will see that over the past 1 year, he has only achieved 65% of his sales target. And then, although he made a lot of deals, he also lost a lot of deals. And the average size of the deals is quite big as well. We can see that throughout his journey, he generated $275,000 by selling these products to these customers. So what can be done by that is that John's achievements and statistics can gain him more insight and perhaps can be turned into a program to guide William as well. So let's say now we focus back to John. We assume that the top performers often do the most sales activities, right? So let's move over to the activities dashboard. Well, in this case, as you can see, John is actually in the middle. He didn't do the most, but I would say perhaps what he did it strategically so that he can generate the most income with least contact points. So in this case, David did perform a lot of calls, emails, and also meetings. And with this, you can even drill through deeper. You want to analyze, okay, what types of calls, what deals that takes up a lot of calls from David. You can drill through and check out the deals. So these are the deals that David managed to secure, and perhaps through the calls as well. So as you can see with Power BI, you can slice, filter, and even drill through to gain more deeper insight. You can even compare performances between months and so on. All this is available on our website as well. We have demo dashboards as well, even though it doesn't look like this. I will show you where to get the Power BI demo on our website. So you can head on to srkk.com/Power BI and you'll find the landing page. This is our landing page. And then if you scroll all the way down, You'll find different dashboards that you can play around with. You can interact and experience it yourself. All right, so that is the demo for Power BI. Let me jump back into the presentation on how SRKK come into the picture. All right, so how can SRKK help in this matter? I've shown you the amazing product, the Power BI, but how can SRKK help? What role do we play? So introducing Power BI Kaizen. In SRKK, we have a program for Power BI Kaizen, which comes from the Japanese philosophy, means continuous improvement. So SRKK provides end-to-end Power BI solutions where you can get your outsourced team consists of consultants, developers, and engagement manager in a low commitment, flexible, and affordable way, ready to assist your continuous improvements as your data evolves and expands as well. So how does it work? It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. First, you subscribe to the Power BI Kaizen, and then you get your team focused solely on your project. And then the second step is the development cycles, where we develop your dashboards and fulfill your requirements. And lastly, once everything is set, you can downgrade or even pause the subscription plan. So what are the different subscription plans that we have? First, our program covers support from maintenance all the way to development. So for example, the first one, we have Kaizen Basic. Starting at 1,750, you'll get 7 hours of support per month with a dedicated developer ready to assist you. Our Kaizen Essential is at 3,500 a month for 14 hours, mostly used by our clients who have already implemented Power BI and want to build internal competence or even do further maintenance. And then we have Kaizen Professional, which is our recommended program. It is a 50 hours program, consists of 1 week sprint, where our team focuses solely on your project. So this allows for new developments. And if you want to take it up a notch, you can sign up for Kaizen Enterprise. At 2 times the sprint, you can accomplish more within 1 month. Just like any other subscription plan, you can upgrade and downgrade depending on your business needs as well. So as seen on your screen is our current original price. But today, during our webinar, we want to introduce to you the special webinar promotion. During this period, we are offering 17.5% off for Power BI Kaizen Professional and Enterprise, worth up to 2,000 per sprint, 2,100 per sprint. On top of that, we are also offering a free 65-inch smart TV so you can view your data and enhance your analysis for the first 3 customers that purchases Power BI Kaizen Professional for the first 6 months. So I've mentioned about sprint earlier. How does it look like? So let's say we kickstart the project in May. So the green highlighted area represents the calendar or the time where our team will dedicate our week to work on your project. So in this case, it will start on the 24th all the way to 27th. We will work on that, and then in June, we will have the last week of June as well to focus on your dashboard developments and so on. So what do we normally achieve within sprint? It depends on the scope that we have agreed upon. So basically, before we start the sprint, we will have a discussion and we will set up the milestones that we need to achieve together. And depends on the scope, we will normally achieve the automated data extraction within the first sprint and also prepare your data so the following sprints can be smoother. The benefit of doing this is that it gives you flexibility so you can have a taste before proceeding to the next steps when you're ready. So why Power BI Kaizen? First, it's because of our agile implementation. We honor your time. We will deliver shorter time to value and give you higher satisfaction. Second, our approach allows us to be affordable and low commitment. So you can start small, gain confidence, and slowly expand your scope and requirements with us. We're ready to support you with your continuous improvements as well. So lastly, is our zero risk policy. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee to ensure high satisfaction and ensure your implementation is risk-free and worry-free. Of course, subject to terms and conditions. Whether the product or the service, you are in good company. Power BI is trusted by and used by 5 million users all across the globe. And as I mentioned, even ranked #1 on the Gartner's Magic Quadrant. Power BI Kaizen, on the other hand, is one of the trusted services that is trusted by many Malaysian companies. So rest assured, we are excited to collaborate and journey together to support your continuous improvement. Again, just to close up, I will show you again the webinar special promotion, the 17.5% Power BI Kaizen off, worth up to 4,200 per month if you take the enterprise, or 2,100 if you take the professional, and also free 65-inch for the first 3 customers that sign up for professional or enterprise for 6 months. That's all from me. Thank you.